Okay, so at the present time, I'm very excited to introduce our next speaker, Vladyslav Moragun. He is an esteemed SEO expert, SEO strategist for large-scale websites. With his extensive experience in enhancing search engine visibility for high-traffic websites with millions of pages, Vladyslav brings invaluable insights into the world of product-led SEO. Today, Vladyslav will be enlightening us on the topic of product-led SEO, the importance of SEO analytics. Vladyslav, hello.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
I'm so glad to hear you. How are you doing?
Everything fine, thank you.
I have one small secret. Vladislav was my teacher. I learned from you. I'm very excited to see you here today. Are you ready to share your insights with us?
Yes, of course. 1 second, I will share my presentation.
Sure.
Mhm.
Great, we can see it.
Okay, thank you. So let's start. Hello, everyone. As Nadia mentioned before, my name is Vladislav Morgan. I've been working in the field of search engine optimization for over 14 years. In my SEO career, I've worked across a variety of industries such as real estate, travel, news, music, health, job portals, gambling, e-commerce in more than 30 different countries and languages. It's given me the opportunity to understand and learn from unique challenges, especially when optimizing large-scale websites. So today I'm here to show you how to start with product lead SEO and something about SEO analytics. So what is product lead SEO? It's a strategy that bridges the gap between product development and SEO to organically drive traffic and growth an audience. It's about making SEO a fundamental component of the product experience. So, what are the main key points of product lead SEO? First, it's a product value proposition. The core idea is to build a product that fulfills a user need or intent, as SEO says, and naturally rank well in search engine results. The product should match what users are searching for, providing a clear answer and solution for their queries. The goal is to attract organic traffic through inherent product value. The second thing, it's user experience. This approach places a strong emphasis on providing a superior user experience. By creating an intuitive and user-friendly product, you can improve engagement, encourage sharing, and getting organic links and something like that, and boost your SEO performance. The third one, it's content creation. Instead of focusing on creating content for the sake of keywords, product lead SEO suggests generating content that adds value to the user. This content should be a natural extension of the product and its purpose. The next one, it's iterative improvements. So continuous improvements is crucial. Based on user feedback and search data, iterate on your product to better align it with user needs and some new search trends. This iterative approach helps maintain and improve your search rankings. The next one, the fifth, it's collaboration. It emphasizes the importance of collaboration between product teams and SEO teams. By working together from the outset, these teams can ensure that products are designed with SEO in mind, saving time and resources in the long run. Keyword and market research. Research is a key in the early stages of product development. Understand what users are searching for and identify gaps in the market that your product could fill. And the last thing, it's a long-term strategy. So product lead SEO is a long-term strategy. It requires patience and persistence, but over time it can provide maybe substantial organic growth. So to make an SEO quite well for different businesses, you need to have some analytic skills. The process of collecting and analyzing raw data to help you make decisions about your search engine optimization focus. This will help you prioritize tasks and get approval for SEO work. And maybe you could make more informed decisions about your improving SEO strategies. The next thing that SEO specialist must know how to find growth points and evaluate all of them, and then prioritize them. After that, make those changes, taking into account the specifics of business and maybe development processes with the product team. So there should not be a phrase, something like, I believe, in the lexicon of a SEO specialist. Only it could be based on data. We have a hypothesis that if we do something, we could get something else. So this is a solution to the problem that we called it depends. The problem with very fuzzy SEO answers and very fuzzy works. So our main questions must be, why do we need to do these tasks? Will they lead us to our goals, maybe different OKRs, objective and key results, KPIs, and other things? What exactly these tasks are? Do we have a strong confidence about them based on data, or do we think that they are easy to be done or something else? And the third one, it's which one will help us to grow, which one has a chance to bring us traffic, and which one is a support task without which we couldn't move on, for example, in our product development. So first thing is that we need to implement a documentation first approach. Everything about our site, our competitors, our hypothesis list must be written. Especially if your team is remote, you need to have the most artifacts numbers that you can. You can begin even with, for example, Google Docs with spreadsheets, or Confluence with Jira, or maybe Notion, whatever you like. But everything must be written somewhere in the one source of truth. The next step is data collecting. We need to get our first batch of data, and for example, Google Search Console export would be a great start. New export tool compared to the old API is much better. Despite anonymized queries, you could get much more data from this export compared to the old API that we used before. For example, in one of my cases, I could find almost 3 million of unique keywords that my site ranked for during last month in Ahrefs data, and more than 5 millions of Google Search Console keywords in this new export function from Google Search Console. So it's the first thing that you must do. First thing, to make a source of truth in Confluence or Google Docs or something like that, and then to begin to download some type of data, for example, Google Search Console data. Then the third thing is that you need to enrich your data to find more complex insights. So it could be, for example, the next step as a server logs. Yes, you can not only analyze them in Kibana or other specialized software, but upload prepared grabbed data with Googlebot strings into a BigQuery, and then blend Google Search Console data and logs data. For those who didn't know what server logs are or something like that, it's a text document that contains a record of all activity related to a specific web server over a defined period of time. For example, records of Googlebot requests. So you could see an example of Google log string when you can see an API address and user agent, data, get or post request type, response code, and other things like URL of requests. So then you could add more data to your data warehouse. You could add crawl data or scrape data from your site. For example, for newbies, I would suggest Screaming Frog. You can teach your colleagues, developers, how to install it on Ubuntu or other Linux servers and start it by a cron using schedule start every day. For example, in a headless mode. Headless mode, it's a mode for Screaming Frog that you could use without user interface. So you could create your config for Screaming Frog, and Screaming Frog will crawl your site automatically from your web server. For example, you could get in links in a CSV file with source and destination columns, for example, to analyze graph. In discrete mathematics, and more specifically in graph theory, a graph is a structure amounting to a set of objects in which some pairs of the objects are in some sense kind of related. So, for example, a graph, it's your site. When you would see a point, it's pages of your site, and relation between those points, it's your in links in your internal linking. So as an icing on the cake, you could get, for example, additional data like SERP data using data for SEO to analyze your CTR fluctuations and other similar things. Data for SEO, it's a great service when you could buy different API tokens and get different information from Google SERP, Google about Google keywords, about Google Trends, and other things. So if you would parse and scrape those data, you could get some different interesting insights. For example, in one of my projects, we get a decrease in CTR, but impressions and clicks were okay, and also we don't change something in our descriptions, titles, and other things. When we scraped SERP from Google using data for SEO, we'll get data that Google add to a lot of our SERPs YouTube videos. So we have a decrease in CTR because of those new video blocks in our SERPs. So in total, you will make your first SEO data warehouse where you will combine or blend all of those tables and could get insights of confirmation or confirmations of your hypothesis. As I mentioned before, I could go to a Google build query, or if your company already has a data warehouse for analytics team, it could be a ClickHouse with Redash or similar things. Also, if you have some business info in your data warehouse, you could try to make a model how to calculate return on investment of SEO and evaluate your work. For example, if you work with a large scaled website, you have a lot of page types, you could have a lot of different languages, countries, and other different things. So the main work of head of SEO, for example, is to find points when you can get the most growth of your traffic and your, for example, revenue. So without those data, what revenue you have now, what effective pages you have now, and other things, you couldn't get those focus and those points to invest your time and invest your money. So if SEO becomes a part of conversion rate optimization, you could get more focus on important tasks and important directions of your business to get more, for example, revenue, conversions, or maybe if your goal is, for example, page use, so page use. To work with your data, you need to get some skills in SQL to make queries in BigQuery. The second, terminal commands like grep or awk or sed to prepare your data files. Also, you will need to maybe study a collab Google with Python to analyze data using pandas or different things like library network X. And for example, Looker Studio to visualize your data. If you are afraid of Python or SQL, ChatGPT is your best friend. He could write you a small part of code, a small part of your SQL query, or something like that. So the first and the main skill for your beginning, your start in SEO analytics, it's SQL. You could try to check the, I think, most famous manual at W3 schools, or you could study at services like, for example, SoloLearn, and improve your skill using ChatGPT. The only thing you need is to describe your tables and what you want to get as accurate as you can. So the next step, after your data warehouse would be set up, you could upgrade your routine. I advise you to make more small steps and faster changes on your site rather than making big and slow changes. But each test must be described with a templated notation. As I mentioned before, it must be a source of truth, your one source of truth. Also, you can check an example of hypothesis template on a slide. The first thing that we need to describe it's about our research and all context that you knew. For example, the main goal that we want to get and what we want to change on our pages or on our site in all pages. For example, I want to increase my CTR because I know that I have a lot of impressions. I have average position more than 3, for example, and I want to get more traffic using my description. I have a pre-research result that my competitors are using in my description, in their descriptions, very similar words and a small amount of information. For example, in my description now, I am using a price of my product, information about how fast I could get this product, for example, using a firm to transfer those products to me or something like that. And my other competitors using in descriptions, for example, things like you need this product, buy it, please, something like that. So my main goal to increase CTR, my pre-research result it's compare between me and competitors, and then my hypothesis it's that I have data from my Google Search Console downloaded into BigQuery. I've chosen a batch of pages that I would change descriptions on. How I would change those, how I would choose those pages. I would get information about clicks, impressions, something like that. I would choose pages without fluctuations in my traffic, in my clicks. So I would see if I would have a great increasing trend, and I would get pages with position larger than 3 or equals to 3. So it was a general description of my hypothesis, and I would add different examples of my descriptions that, for example, my product team or marketing team or SEO team could check and approve. And after that, I would make those tests, check the data, and would write those results. When you will have several tests like this, you will try this hypothesis template. You will have in a time a library of those tests that you could recheck, reread, and then you can get new maybe insights from all of those data, something like that. So each test might be described and templated. Plus, when you create a test, you need to have a data in your data warehouse to check your hypothesis. Thank you for your attention. The last thing that I would show you, it's a textual version of hypothesis template. So, for example, based on user survey data and competitive analysis, we assume that on our page we need to add additional intent block. For example, a block with suggestions to the products of the same type, for example. This change in the design of our page with adding this block will improve our, for example, behavioral metrics. For example, a number of pages, page views or something like that. And those improvements our SEO performance, for example. So thank you a lot for your attention. And if you would have some questions, write to me using Facebook or email.
Thank you, Vladyslav, so much for your enlightening speech on the importance of SEO analytics in product-led SEO. I have several questions from our students. The first one, in your experience, what are some common challenges that SEO professionals face when working with large-scale websites with millions of pages? How can SEO analytics help overcome these challenges?
The main problem, I think, it's a focus. You have a lot of different page types, maybe different languages on your site, and an infinitive backlog. So you need to try to prioritize all tasks which could bring you growth faster and easier, or maybe not easier, but cheaper as you can. So it's a focus, and it's an approach to analyze those data and try to prioritize all of those tasks. I'm sorry, I have no audio.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. One more question. Can you share some key metrics or analytics tools that are crucial for tracking and optimizing search engine visibility for large-scale websites?
In my opinion, I think that one of the most important metrics must be the percentage of effective pages. So how many pages have organic traffic and conversions above the limits that you fixed? I think it's the most crucial maybe metric. And if you want to use some analytic tools, it's not tools that you can buy. For example, all tools that you need, it's a database MySQL, or for example BigQuery, or for example ClickHouse, and then your skills to make different queries to those databases.
Great, thank you. And our students also ask whether they can receive your insightful presentation. I would like to remind you that all participants who has already registered will have all speakers' presentations. So don't miss this opportunity. Register right now, skillsbooster.net. You will find all details in our chat. Vladyslav, I would like to thank you one more time for this insightful speech. That was great. Thank you so much and have a nice day.
Thank you. Have a nice day too.
Thank you. Bye.